Hi, my name is Josh, and I work for Roof Tech Consulting and Construction out of Noonan, Georgia. I'm a roof inspector and repair technician, and I'm here at policyholder William Hudson's home. Again, that's policyholder William Hudson, and his address is 80 Ebenezer Drive, Noonan, Georgia. Today's date is April 8th, 2026, and the time is roughly 4:40 p.m. The temperature is 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and Mr. Hudson's claim number is 082-254-3914. Again, Mr. Hudson's claim number is 082-254-3914. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show an overview of Mr. Hudson's property really quick. I'm trying to get the camera flipped, but it doesn't seem to be working. All right. I'm going to show an overview so that if need be, Allstate can confirm with their photos that I am indeed at Mr. Hudson's residence. I did not chalk all of the wind damage on the roof, and this is a wind claim, by the way. And there is so much scattered wind damage. I mean, you can see a lot of the Windcrease shingles down through there that I did not chalk. And then you can see a lot right here around here that I did. And I personally believe that it should have been a full roof replacement right off the bat, because there's so much scattered wind damage on the front and back of the house. And again, it's pretty much just an up and over roof. However, Allstate deemed it repairable and said for us to come out and repair it. And so we came out and attempted that repair, and discovered that the roof was not repairable. I'm going to show that prior repair really quick. Okay, and we did not film that, again, assuming it was repairable. As you can see, it failed. And so now we're here to attempt it again on video to see if it's repairable or not using the roof snake. I set up right here to replace this one. As you can see, the shingles above it are sealed, installed properly, and in normal condition, considering the wear and tear of the roof. There is a lot of scattered granule loss. It's a little bit of an older roof, not too old though. I'd probably estimate about 14 years old, but with all the sun exposure and no shade throughout the day, it's taking a lot of heat, and so it's taking on some granule loss and brittleness. But you can see these shingles above it, they have to be manipulated with the roof snake, are in good condition with normal wear and tear for the age of the roof, and they are sealed and installed properly. I'd like to also notate that I am going to be sending in photos for a supplement for Mr. Hudson for the tree damage that took place that's been left out of the claim, that took down his fence on several different places. And so it's kind of back there on the edge of the property, as you can see. But anyway, so wanted to show that. Now I'll be putting the phone in a tripod, and the phone will not leave the repair zone for the entire duration of the repair attempt, so that there's no doubt to the integrity of the attempt on the repair. And I will be using the roof snake, as I said in the beginning. I want to ask that you pay close attention to how gentle that I am with these shingles. So I actually had a State Farm adjuster teach me how to do these repair videos using the roof snake, and so that's the method that I go by, which is based off how roof snake says to use the tool. So one thing I want to point out is I don't ever shove that roof snake way up high under the tab. I just barely go past the tar line, right? I don't want to be too rough on the shingle on that tab. Also, I kind of keep my hand on top of the tab while I'm working it and breaking that shingle, that tab loose, so that I don't accidentally jar or pop that tab up and overbend it by mistake. All right, so I can tell by the keyhole right here that this is the end of the shingle, so I'll be replacing this one right here. So I've got to break these 4 tabs loose, and then these 3. That's 3 shingles total that have to be manipulated. So let me get started. All right. ahead and break the other tabs on the damaged shingle loose as well. Nice and easy. I'm being very gentle, taking my time, as you can see. Now I'm going to use the roof snake to remove the nails. Starting with that. Alright, you can see I'm getting down. I'm barely lifting that tab to see where that nail's at. I'm going to slide the roof snake under there. I'm going to let the roof snake do its job and determine how much this tab gets lifted. Okay, so being nice and easy. First nail out. I'm barely lifting that, guys. Just the length of the nail. Get the nail out. What I may do is share this picture off with my tools. Moving on to the next nail. Again, I'm letting that roof snake do its job, determine how much the tab gets lifted. Nowhere near 45 degrees. Barely, very gently prying that nail up and out. Only lifting that tab the length of the nail. Next nail. Around it. Nice. Alright, so far so good. Again, look, barely lifting this tab right here. Letting the roof snake do its job. Lift it to the bare minimum. On up. Nice and easy, letting the roof snake do its job again. Hard time with that. There we go. Again, very gentle here. We do have a little bit of blow through here, which is where the nail's blown through the shingle. So I'm going to have to use the cat's claw to try to dig it up just a little bit. The difference is the roof snake has a very blunt edge. The cat's claw has a pointed edge. They both let you get under the shingle without overlifting them. And in fact, the cat's claw is better because it's not as angled, in my opinion. And that pointed edge lets you get under the head of that nail. So let me get it started here. Okay. There we go. You can see, look, I barely lifted that shingle. Just going under it to dig up under the head of that nail to get it pried up a little bit since it was sunk too deep. into the fiberglass for this blunt edge on the roof snake to dig into that fiberglass and pry that nail up since it was blown through. But I've got it now. Barely lifted that shingle just the length of the nail, the bare minimum to get the nail out, that is. Okay, on to the last couple of nails here. Letting the roof snake do the lifting. Alright. Nice and gentle. Got that nail out. Last nail, guys. That's it. There we go. Pry the bad shingle out. See there, that wind damaged shingle there, flapping really hard. It's actually torn too. Been flapping so much in the wind. All right, you can tell that's been damaged for at least a few months. All right. Next, I'm gonna grab this new shingle. Just want to make sure we're still rolling on the camera. The camera, again, is not being taken off that repair zone. Just want to be fully transparent. Look, if this roof comes out repairable, our company will do the right thing and repair this roof. Despite all that intense labor of replacing all these individual scattered shingles and making this roof look like a checkerboard with the new shingles and old, we'll repair it. But if it comes out not repairable, we, along with the policyholder, are asking Allstate to do the right thing and replace the roof if it's not repairable due to its brittleness from the weathering. Sliding this new shingle in. All right, I've got it in place, and I will be using the roof snake to put the nails back in. Now, I want to point out that on the roof snake, there is a 3/16 of an inch lip from where the nail is inserted that prevents that nail from driving all the way flat and flush with the surface of the shingle, so that the tab that lays on top of the nail can lay flush and flat and reseal properly. So that 3/16 of an inch, what it does is it leaves that nail sticking up just like a nail pop, 3/16 to a 1/4 inch, and that shingle lays on top of it and cannot lay flat and seal properly. So you'll notice that I will take and drive it all the way as far as the roof snake will take it, and then gently set it on top of the nail and tap it a couple of times to drive it flat and flush with the surface of the roof, so that the tabs can lay flat on top of the nail at the seal line and seal properly. So here we go. Nice and easy, and as you can see, I let the roof snake determine how much the tab is lifted so that it is lifted at the bare minimum. Just barely lifting that enough to get the roof snake in there to drive the nail back in. see, I'm taking my time, being gentle, and using proper technique. Last nail. Now, just out of habit, I'm going to write new on the new shingle. Now I will grab the camera, and again, I'm never taking the camera away from the repair zone. Okay. All right, so you can see the new shingle, and you can see that first row above it that there are 4 tabs clearly damaged and creased due to the repair, despite using the best tool you can possibly use, which is the roof snake that bends these tabs the least, excuse me. I just want to point out here, so this first tab here, you can see that crease straight across the top there, plain as day. It's damaged and it was barely lifted using the roof snake. Again, here's the next one. You can see the exact same result. Very hard, intense crease. Same thing with that next tab. Very obvious, and it was not there at the beginning of the video. That was very obvious as well. I was fully transparent and showed they were sealed and without prior creasing. You can see that crease as well. Then on to the next row. It's not as heavy, but you can see that crease across the top there. Damage as well. The next one, same result. Crease across the top. And the same for the next one. So there's 3 tabs per shingle, and you can see there's 4 tabs damaged due to the repair on the first row, and then 3 on the second. So that makes 3 damaged shingles just to replace 1, which means that this roof is not repairable. I want to point out, just as I had discussed with Mr. Hudson leading up to this video, also want to point out to Allstate as well, when you guys watch this video, that this roof is not repairable. In order to replace one, we would have to intentionally, knowing it's not repairable, damage 3 other shingles, and then we'd replace those 3 shingles and damage the 5 above it, and so on and so forth. And when you have this much scattered damage over both sides of the roof of the home, excuse me, you'd end up replacing the whole roof anyways, since it's not repairable, because it'd start wherever that wind damaged shingle is, and as a V formation all the way up to the top of the roof, you'd have to replace that whole section. And therefore, the only way to bring Mr. Hudson back to pre-loss condition is to grant a full roof replacement. Please. Thank you. Bye.